Made 5 offers yesterday. I love it. Dean, yes. 3 offers yesterday. Round of applause for
Good
Dean.
job, Dick. That's what I like. Getting it
Brent,
done.
boom. Boom. Here we go. Made 3, but we'll catch up today. 3 is good. 3 is awesome. I just made 2 offers. All right. There's our first lady. Made 2 offers. Keep on going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Douglas, 4 offers sent, 2 pending. Nice. Gary, 6 offers yesterday.
Nice.
Love it. Yes, I made 1 offer today. Bam, Cheryl. Does seller financing work? Yes, any kind of offer you want. It could be an offer to just find them a tenant, right? Make a quick $1,000. Randy, 2 offers, but got a solid buyer. Nice. Don, 6 verbal offers, 3 going out in the mail today.
Good job, Don.
Cool kids. Today, our goal is I want to review the marketing real quick that we talked about yesterday. And I want to also give you some simple templates that you can send. In fact, I thought about creating it in advance, and I thought, no, I'm going to create it with you guys all live on this Facebook just to show you how easy, simple it is. Give you a calculator that we use and give you some simple contracts. Okay. So, but remember we talked about the marketing, right? And we mentioned kind of starting with our favorite was what? Does anybody remember? Type it in the comments. Way to go, Sarah. 3 offers. Bam. This is a good question here. I keep getting voicemails. Do I keep calling sellers until I talk to 5 sellers? Yes. Steve, does anyone have an email blast template for vacant sellers? Steve, there is something in REI Simple. Oh, here we go. Facebook user, old leads. Samantha, yes, old leads. That's what we talked about. That was our favorite. Thank you, Don.
Yes.
Old leads. My database, Brent, is right. So that is the best. Who is doing old leads too, by the way? Paul, Brian, who actually called their old leads? I'm telling you, that is the fastest and easiest way to get leads. I mean, you may not need to do any other marketing at all this entire month. You've got old leads, just start following up with them. Find other wholesalers that have old leads. Follow up with their old leads. All right. That's where the money is, right? That's where the money is. The second thing we talked about was calling landlords, right? And we called landlords in 3 or 4 different places. Zillow Rentals. You got Zillow Rentals. You've got Facebook Marketplace. You can't call them, but you can message them. You've got one of my favorites is GoSection8.com. There's Military by Owner. Even you can find it if you're doing lease purchases. You can do all those as well. Keith didn't have old leads, but he called FSBOs. That's awesome. Zillows are good. And Keith made 6 offers. Bam. I love it.
Nice.
Way to go, Keith. So call landlords or FSBOs from Zillow, Craigslist. I like GoSection8.com, MilitaryByOwner.com even, or Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Now, that was the second thing. The other thing we talked about is going to find old property listings on Redfin or the MLS. Go to MLS, look for old properties that need fixing up, that have been on the market over 60 days, and start calling those realtors and just say, hey, would your client be considered, are they negotiable? Would they consider an offer, right? Lower than what the list price is. So then I love this. Reese. I called new people. I made some dumb offers, but I only got denied. Didn't bother me at all. There you go. Because you're going to get a lot of no's, but still, even if you call them and they say no, send them an offer anyway. That's my philosophy, right? How do we get on the MLS? Well, you got to get a realtor, but I also like like Redfin. Redfin will give you really good data that's real close to the MLS. All right, so then we talked about calling realtors of older listings, right? The third thing we talked about was well, I mentioned a little bit sending yellow letters to rentals on Zillow, to the owners of rentals on Zillow, but that takes a little time and money. You could do that if you want. You're going to get a good response rate from that. The final thing we talked about was pulling a list from PropStream or REI Simple, right? Skip tracing that list. And I showed you we just skip traced a simple absentee owner that bought it over 10 years ago. We skip traced that list, and we showed you in the video yesterday how to just quickly cold call them and send text messages to them. All right. Oh, come on, Dean. I got called a troll by a landlord. Send him an offer anyway, man.
Yeah.
I've
been called worse.
Oh, look at this. Keith. Exactly what you said, Joe. They said no, but I sent them offers anyway. They might change their mind. Exactly. I can't tell you how many FSBOs I've done where they thought, no, I'm going to sell it. And then they couldn't. And then they said, well, I'll just list it with the realtor. And the realtor couldn't sell it. And then they called me back 6-9 months later. Yeah, you know what? Can we do this?
Yeah.
Antoine's asking, if we don't have REI Simple, what's the best way to skip trace? What do you recommend now these days?
Batch lead, batch skip tracing. And if
BatchSkipTracing.com.
Yeah, or batch lead stacker, same company, just different ways of doing it. And use the code Gavin, and you'll get a discount.
You type that in?
Yes, I'll type it in. The also, guys, just on that's better for bulk though, right? If you're looking for individual, then there's going to be different services. So it depends on kind of what you need.
All right. So Gavin's going to type in that link and the coupon code.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to do something simple here. I'm going to give you guys a template and some contracts. And I'm going to post these into the, remember that Google Drive folder I gave you guys yesterday? We have that Google Drive folder. So I'm going to post some contracts in there. We're going to review them right now. And I'm going to give you a simple template. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to remove our videos so you actually see the full screen. You guys see the full screen? All right. This is real simple. This is a simple template or a letter. And all I'm doing is I'm going to go to Google Docs. All right. And I'm going to call this sample offer letter template. All right. Your company name, business address. What if you don't have an address? Choose your home. Not a big deal. City, state, zip. Right? Date. Seller name. Seller mailing address. City, state, zip. Right. Regarding your property at address. Okay. Dear seller name. It was great talking with you today. Now you could kind of convert this to a email as well, right? Hang on, my eyes are hurting me. I'm gonna turn the night shift onto my camera, my monitor here. It was great talking with you today about your house at address in city. Gavin, you can help me out if you want to add or change any of this text, right?
Yep.
After doing some quick research, I think I might be able to offer something like this. This is as simple as we're talking about here, okay? And then do bullet. So then put here, this is for cash, okay? In fact, I'm going to do this. Let's do cash offer, okay? Offer price. Close in, and that's going to be $, right? Close in 30 to 45 days. Now I'm going to give you in just a minute here, guys. I'm going to give you the actual contract, which kind of spells this out. If you want to do a contract, you're not going to sign it, okay? Contingency. Standard 15 business day inspection contingency. Sometimes when I negotiating things like in writing, I'll call it standard. It's just because I can call it whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
How many weeks is 15 business days? That's a
20. It's 21 days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 3-week inspection contingency. Oops, just spilled my water. All right, what else? Title, close at the following title company. You don't know, do TBD. Okay, that's it. If you're going to do a lease option,
Joe, a few people are saying that the screen's fuzzy, but I can see it fine. So I don't know if it's on their end or not.
Let me close some things on my computer. That might help things. Maybe my computer resources are running low.
Yeah, a few people are saying it's okay. I can see it clearly, so I'm not sure.
Trying to save some stuff and close some things right now. Hold on 1 second. All right, the only thing I have open now is my one window of Chrome. Can you guys still see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this again is just something simple. You can add to this, change whatever you want. I'm just trying to show you how simple this really is. So then for a lease purchase, you want the option price, you want the rent, the term, 1 to 2 years. You want the option consideration. If you're doing a wholesaling lease option, $10 to $100. Okay, that's it. You want to offer seller financing? What are you going to do? Price, down payment. I would do 0 to 5,000 max. It kind of depends on the deal and if you have the money or not, right? Interest rate, 0 to 5%, something like that, right? Term. So sometimes what I like to do, if it's principal only, it's like 200 months. Or if it's interest only or principal only, you could do 30-year AM, 10-year balloon. That's something you could do, right? You understand what I mean by amortization, 10-year balloon? But that's going to vary depending on how you're doing it. Monthly payment. Okay. Let me know what you think. If These offers don't work for you. Notice I said these offers. Okay. This offer. So if you're just getting started, don't worry about like giving them 2 or 3 options. We don't want you worried about that right now. We just want you to send a quick, fast offer. So if these offers, I'm going to do this. If this offer doesn't work for you, please keep this letter for future reference. Thanks. Your name, phone number. All right, so this is all too big. Let's make this a 10. So it's on one page.
Yep.
That's it. All right. Sometimes I make this stuff bold so it stands out. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And Gavin, I want you to answer some questions. And I'm going to add while you're talking here. I am going to add in the contracts, and then I'll review those here in the Google Drive folder in just a second.
Okay, cool.
I'm talking about, go ahead and look at questions, and then I'm going to add these contracts in here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and when to use seller finance? So seller finance, guys, normally, for me personally, if the property's under probably 100,000 and it's free and clear, means there's no mortgage, then you will offer owner finance. And it could be as simple as little as down as possible. Let's say the house is worth 70,000. You're going to do $5,000 down, and you're going to make, let's say it rents for $1,000. You're going to make payments of $500 for as long a period as you can get it with principal only payments. So I don't want to talk too much on owner finance because it's a strategy within itself. But that's when the type of deal would be free and clear, under 100,000, probably under 80,000, was when you would make an offer on owner finance. So it doesn't have a mortgage. You can do it on hire, but it might not work as well. Okay. Let's see here. Can we, sorry, it keeps jumbling as people are writing. Can we make calls in Can we make calls to the property managers and send them offers? Yes, you can. You are going to make calls to property managers if it's for listed, for rent. What we want to do is we go on through the weeks. Right now, week 1, absolutely. Talk with the property manager, make the offer to them, right? Don't overthink it. But as we get going through this process, we're going to also show you how to look up the owner's address and then go directly to the owner, kind of missing the property manager out, but you're not saying that. It's just kind of what you're doing. You don't want to be saying, oh, Mr. Seller, I spoke to your property manager, but I just wanted to come to you. You don't want to do that, but we can look for any autoresponders from like Hotpads. We can look up the mailing address, the owner of the property, and actually send them a letter missing all like Hotpads out, which is what you're going to find a lot on Zillow. So we are going to be coming to that. But as of right now, if you talk to a property manager and on that property they're interested in an offer, then make the offer. Even if they're not, you can still make the offer. One thing I will say on that, though, the property managers is not just about that one property.
Yeah, that's good.
It's anything they have. So when you talk with a realtor, when you talk to a property manager, you lead in with 123 Main Street, but then very quickly you're going to then go anything they have. Is there anything that this might work for? If it gets shut down, just go wide with them. Oh, actually, yeah, I've got one that we can't rent. Or, oh yeah, I've got one that needs the tenant smashed up and the buyer just wants to get rid of it, but we haven't listed it yet. Anything like that might come up. Never assume, as common sense as it may seem to you, that someone's just going to tell you this information. They will not. If you call a seller, right, let's just say direct to seller, and they're selling 123 Main Street, or they're interested in selling, don't assume that they're going to say, oh, I have this property and that property for sale, because they will not always tell you. Because remember, you're calling on 123 Main Street. You're not calling about the other 3 properties. So you have to ask, do you have any other properties, Mr. Seller? Oh, yeah, I do actually. Are any of them vacant? And then you will start, to have that conversation. Please show what a informal offer to an agent on a listed property looks like. I don't know who asked that question, but
just that letter we just created.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to remove our video. I just added some really important things here in the Google Drive folder. And again, you guys all have access to this folder. Let me refresh it here. You all have access to this folder. If you go to the Facebook group, click on announcements, and you scroll down till you see this one thing here called important docs and information. And you click on this main Google Drive folder right here. That's going to take you to this Google Drive folder, which has a bunch of stuff. All right. Now, I just added in a couple calculators, a lease option calculator and a seller financing calculator. We'll cover that in a minute. I have here the lead tracker sheet that we talked about. This is the lead tracker sheet that you can print. You don't want to use a CRM. You don't have a CRM. Here's the lease option seller script. Here's the wholesaling script just for like regular cash offers. Here is the one-page contract for traditional wholesaling deals. Here's that sample offer letter template we did, seller financing offer, and here's the lease option one-page contract. So our goal again on this course, and it's not a course, our goal in this accountability coaching group here is not to give you another course or load you with a bunch of information. These are just some things that you could use. So here's the one-page contract that I like to use. All right, let's just open it up and review it real quick. I use this for cash deals. Let's walk through this because it's a really, really good contract. I've used this many times over the years. Take what I see that's good in somebody else's contracts, add it to this. The purchase price is this: earnest money to be held in escrow by buyer's attorney or title company, whatever you want to change there, right? Property is being sold as is. The seller or tenant will make it property accessible to show partners, lenders, inspectors, appraisers, and contractors. If the buyer is unable to complete the purchase for any reason, the earnest money deposit shall be forfeited to the seller as total liquidated damages, and buyer is released from any further obligation under this contract. If the seller cannot provide clear title, the buyer will be released. Buyer shall select closing agent and where closing to be held. This purchase agreement is assignable. This is the only inspection you need, the only inspection contingency you need right here. Buyer's performance in buying this property is contingent upon the buyer's satisfactory inspection of the property. That's all it says, right? Taxes are prorated, closing costs paid by buyer. Closing shall be within 60 days of the agreement being accepted and signed by both seller and buyer. So when we send this, you're not signing it as the buyer. All right? But listen to this. Closing will be within 60 days. Seller grants any extension needed to clear title or to complete closing documentation. So if it's COVID or whatever, the seller grants any extension needed. All right. Closing may be extended an additional 30 days at buyer's request if still performing due diligence under the terms of the agreement. This is giving you 90 days to close. And there's actually no days for inspection period, is there? It just says buyer's performance is contingent on the satisfactory inspection. And I've got 90 days to close. Titles to be free and clear. This offer, blah, blah, blah. This offer will become a binding agreement when accepted and signed by both the buyer and seller. If it is not accepted or signed by the seller prior to, this is your expiration date. So you always want to give an expiration date when you're sending an offer to a seller, a contract like this. And so I usually put it out 3 or 4 days. Sometimes this is something I learned from a very active wholesaler here in St. Louis, and did a lot of deals. And I was talking to him one time, and when he's meeting with the seller in person, this is more important in person. He never leaves his offer with the seller. He just says, he takes it away and says, it's fine if you say no, but if you say no, one thing you can't do is tell me I need to think about it. So it's okay to say no. Don't tell me I need to think about it. Usually when somebody says that, it's just a nice way of saying they're really not interested, right? So he would take the offer away from the seller when he left the appointment. And he just said, listen, in my experience, no seller has ever come back to me after leaving my offer, and they just really want to shop it around with other people that are giving bids. So he pulls it away. So anyway, you always want to give a deadline to the seller, yes or no. And it could be like the same day or the next day, which is totally fine. It doesn't mean you can't send them another offer again and follow up. Now, here's a disclosure thing right here. Buyers agreeing to purchase the property to rent, lease, assign, or sell, hopefully for a profit. The buyer and seller agree that the buyer is not intending to occupy the property as a primary residence. Seller understands that buyer and or their assigns are not receiving a fee or commission from the seller. The buyer should not expect representation from the buyer. The seller agrees that the buyer can market the property, including on the MLS, for buyers and tenants prior to closing. Boom, there you go. If there's any additional terms, if applicable, you can type them in here. Real simple, real powerful contract. Would you agree? Like, this is my favorite contract ever. All right. Now, there's lots of other ones out there. If you want to make an offer on a lease option, I'm just going to cover this real quick. This is and I cover this in my lease options course, but like, it's a one-page lease option agreement. And you're going to need to get in and fix the text up here. Something's going on where it's funky, but so this is it's a lease and option on one document. Now, obviously, when you find a tenant buyer, you're going to have a separate lease and a separate option agreement, but this is just the initial contract. Put the rent, the term. So on a wholesaling lease option, I'll give this whatever the market rent is, $1,500. If it's 2 years, I'll do 24 months. The beginning date is usually 45, 60 days out. Because when I find a tenant buyer, we will do a new agreement at that time with the right dates in it. I have the right to sublease this property. Purchase price will be whatever the seller wants. The house is worth $150 and they want $150 for it, then I'm going to put $150 on there. But I'm going to advertise it for a higher price, maybe $155, $160. Again, the option period is the same as the lease period. Option consideration, this is where you put the money that you're putting down on the property. This is what makes the contract valid. If you want to do rent credits, expiration. If the buyer that's you doesn't find another tenant buyer to live in the home by, this contract will expire. So I give myself 45, 60 days. But I also say here, this agreement is non-exclusive and can be canceled anytime by either party. This means you're not tying it up. That other contract I showed you here, you are tying the property up. So be careful with this thing. If you don't think you can close, you should know within 1 or 2 weeks whether you have a good buyer or not. And if you don't, then you need to cancel the contract or negotiate a lower price. And this also says this offer is contingent upon a physical inspection of the property and the subsequent completion of a more formal and signed residential lease with option to purchase agreement. Okay. This agreement is assignable, and this is where you disclose if you're an agent or not. Also, by the way, if you are an agent, you have to disclose on this thing that you are an agent, but you're not representing anybody else. Make sense? All right. One thing I want to show you too here is this is something that Chris Chico let me borrow from flipanywhere.com. I love Chris, good friend of mine, and he's got some amazing, amazing content. So I borrowed and got his permission to use these. But check these out. This is something that you should send to your sellers with the cash offer. And this is a good example of a cover letter. All right. So you all with me? I just want to make sure you guys are with me and still seeing me.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen here for a second. You guys can. Somebody's asking if these agreements are uploaded in REI Simple. The answer is yes, but you still have to customize them. All right. Randy is asking about who do you recommend learning more about seller financing? Nobody right now. Don't worry about it. Just make offers, right? We're getting some good questions. We're going to do our best to answer them. We do want to make sure, though, that we are done at 10 a.m. Central Time. So we got 17 more minutes, okay? We want to keep these under an hour. So you guys are still with us. Good. I'm going to share my screen again. This is really powerful. This letter here, you put the date and seller information again. You guys can do this in Google Docs, right? You don't have to put this into a CRM. Just go to File, and you can download it as a Word document or make a copy into your own Google Drive folder. And then when you talk to a seller, all right, and you want to send them an offer, just fill it out. If you're going to make them an offer for $76,000, put that in there, change the color of the text to black or whatever. and put the seller's name in here. And then when you're ready, you can print it, send it in the physical mail, or you can just download it as a PDF, okay, and email it to the seller. So, dear seller name, after taking into consideration our conversation, I'm not going to read all of this, but this offer is good for, you could say, 5 days from the date of the top of this letter. All right, then the next page is the contract. Put that contract I just gave you guys a minute ago, put it here. Then here are the benefits you'll experience when you sell your property to us. I love this. There's 2 pages here of a real simple table that says why you should sell to us. What are the benefits? This is more for a cash sale, not for lease option. So we'll buy the property with cash. Other investors, they're going to give you lots of contingencies. We have over whatever years of combined real estate experience. You don't want to lie here, tell the truth. Maybe you have a partner or a title company or a friend or property management that you're partnering with or working with on these deals. Put that in there.
Yeah, or you can just take it out if you want.
Or exactly, just take it out, right? So, all of these benefits, just read this. It's really cool. It's like these other guys, be careful. Read the fine print. They're only going to close if things are going okay. Most of the time, they're just a one-man show. Don't lie on any of this stuff, but if you're partnering with other wholesalers on your deals, and then this is good stuff. All right, the final page here is there's 2 ways to sell a property, Mr. Seller. Number 1, determine the price, prepare the home, advertise, wait for an offer, advertise, wait for an offer, hold an open house, wait for an offer, show properties to buyers, wait for an offer, negotiate a sales price, make repairs, prepare all the contracts, coordinate and follow up with the title company, or sell your house to us and get a check at closing. Okay. I love just the way that it kind of shows a comparison. And these are 4 pages, right? Now, here's the cool thing about this, guys. I don't want to get too fancy technical here, but there's an add-on that you can get from Click2Mail. It's called Mail My Doc. So if you go to add-ons and go to get add-ons, it's going to open you up here, and there's apps, and you can type in Click2Mail. And there's something called Mail My Doc and Mail My PDF. So you can go to Mail My Doc. I already have it installed. And if you have an account with Click2Mail, and if you have prepaid credits in there, you have this letter, you got all your dates and your seller information, and the offer and the contracts is all in there. You can go right here to add-ons, and you can click on Mail My Doc, and you can actually mail this document in the physical mail right here from Google Docs. Click2Mail will get it. And if you have prepaid credits in Click2Mail, they will mail the document. Is that cool? It'll put it in first-class mail. So I'm not going to teach you how to do that. But this is a way then you can go put this letter together in a document, put in the numbers, the information, and it's a little manual at first, right? Eventually get a VA to do it or something. And then go ahead and make a PDF of this thing, download it as a PDF and email it to the seller, and then go to add-ons and mail it through Click2Mail, physical mail. Just click, click, click. Click2Mail will print these 4 or 5 pages and send it in the physical mail. That's really cool. So you can you can pick the letter that you want to send, 8.5 by 11. You can even do this with postcards too, by the way. And you put in the address and all of that stuff. Okay?
Yeah, and if you're not tech savvy, guys, don't attempt it.
Yes, thank you.
Do not attempt any of that.
Maybe do this after you've made your 5 offers.
Yes, there we go.
Then you can play around. You have permission to fart around with this and play with this after you've made your 25 offers for the week.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right. Just want to review a couple other things in here that I've added in here. I'm not going to spend much time talking about this, but we have 2 calculators in here. You can use a pad of paper and an old finger button calculator to do this. You do not need spreadsheets. So if you already know how to use spreadsheets, if you already have my lease options class, all right, there's this calculator right here. When you get this, it's protected. So you need to make a copy of it into your own Google Drive folder or download it as a spreadsheet. But this is where you can put in, I'm not even going to teach you how to do this right now, guys, because this is not the scope of our coaching program. This is outside our scope of work. All right. Just you can average these to get the ARV. You put the numbers in here. All right. When next week, as we start actually looking at actual deals and offers that you guys are working on, I might pull up this calculator, because I know how to use it. I might put this in here and start playing with it. So that's the lease option calculator. And you noticed in here, there's this one column right here for cash offer. And this is using the simple Mayo formula. ARV times 70% minus repairs. For repairs, we're doing $5, $10, $20 a square foot. You got your wholesale fee. This also tells you where you can get like the average of the lowest 4 times 80% to come up with your offer there. All right. Then there's the seller financing offer calculator, and I'm definitely not going to spend time in this today. Maybe as tomorrow or the next week, as we go through looking at actual deals. And we're not going to teach you how to do seller financing, but this is a calculator I created a long time ago that's pretty powerful. Tons of data in here. Like if you're overwhelmed with like numbers and like this doesn't make any sense, then just ignore it. But this gives you a cash offer, seller financing with interest only payments, seller financing, principal only payments. You just got to play with the numbers until you get something that works for you. All right. So what I've done here in this spreadsheet is this is using the ROI method, which means based on the rents and the return on investment. So if your investors want 13% on their money after vacancies, management, repairs, maintenance, all of that stuff, then this is the offer you'd make. Okay. You can also here do the average of the lowest 3 solds. And you can also do the rent times a multiplier. I know guys that do this. They take the rent times 35, subtract repairs, and that's how they come up with their offers. All right. So this spreadsheet is for you to play with after you've already made your 25 offers for the week. Then you can get in here and play with these spreadsheets. I know Gavin's cringing and he's wishing he wouldn't have given these calculators to you guys.
As long as they promise not to say them words of, oh, I didn't get it done because of the calculator, I didn't know how to use it, or it didn't open, or any of these things. This is the only worry. So
let's say that again. Don't waste any time on these calculators. I actually looked back thinking I maybe shouldn't have given them to you guys.
Yeah. And just real quick on the because people love them, right? They are good if you can operate the spreadsheet and you understand it. But otherwise, you're plugging numbers in and then get confused and then you won't get anything done. But that being said, just as a quick rule of thumb for people making cash offers, if you're in California, if you're in New York, places like that, big cities, you're probably going to be about 80%, 85%. Okay, minus your repairs, minus your fee. If you're in Alabama, Mississippi, you're probably 65 to 70%. If you're in Chicago area, you're probably 75%. Okay, so I'm just telling you that because we're going to get that question. And keep it simple. Well, what am I? I don't know. You're going to be in that range of 65 to 80 to 85%. You just got to pick one. And the way, when you get going on this, you're going to work out what the buyers are paying. So the buyers will be the ones paying how much equity they want for them to make money. And then you will go back. Like for Phoenix, right, when I was doing it, we would be anywhere between 80 and 83%. The only reason I know that is because of doing business there. I was making 70% offers to start with. Right. And then you'll figure out, okay, well, they're actually paying more, and then you will adjust. So don't overthink it. Just pick a percentage. And again, the goal, guys, is to get offers out. This is what we're going to be talking about every single session, but you cannot let anything, whether it be a document or how do I write it, just say, hey, thanks for great talking with you today. I want to offer you 100,000 for the property at 123 Main Street. Thanks, Gavin. If that's what it is, just get it done. and then follow up with them.
Yeah. Again, we're giving you permission to make stupid offers. So take Zillow times 75%, and that's your offer. That's it. All right. Dennis is absolutely right. KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. Frederico, are we making cash offers or lease option deals to the property manager? Whatever you want. Make a cash offer. Cash offers are easiest. So whatever's easiest for you, just make it. Make the offer. And for 95% of us, cash offers are the easiest things, right? So just make a cash offer. And I've given you, if you look into the Google Drive folder now, you guys have the scripts when you're talking to sellers. Okay, you have simple one-page contracts. You have a simple cover letter offer, the template that I wrote. You also have Chris Chico's letter with those tables of benefits at the end of it, right? You have some calculators that I gave you, and you have some one-page contracts. I think I already said that. So you have everything you need right now to make offers. It's in the it's in that Google Drive folder. So somebody's asking here, can you share with us the B2C contracts? In other words, like once you get a seller, the B2C, no, because that stuff that's already in my course, the lease options course, or some other courses that you have. Our goal in this challenge is just to get you to make offers. Now, other people have asked, well, what if I get one accepted? What do I do? All right. That's what our daily calls are for. If you get an offer accepted, we'll review it on one of the future coaching calls. We'll review it in the Facebook group. And if you do get a signed contract and you want to partner with me or Gavin or one of our students, send it to support@joemccall.com. We'll review it and maybe partner with you on it if it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, how do you get the contracts? Again, you go to the Facebook group. This is real important, so I'm going to share it one more time. If you want to get all the contracts we're showing you, you go to the Facebook group, you click on announcements right here. And then right here, there's an announcement thing called Important Docs. And you click on this main Google Drive folder. Everything is in this main Google Drive folder right here.